Before we get into the items, let's start with today's shoutouts. And remember, if you want a shout out in my next video, just let me know in the comments. Let's enter this game. Once you enter the game, you will see a message over here. That message will tell you that you already have the item. The item would be this one here. Before the items, it is my duty to tell you about Daniel. For this, we must go back to the year 2019. As we all know, in that year, the pandemic occurred, and classes began to be virtual. Due to the fact that most children did not leave their homes, they took advantage of the chance to play Roblox all day. That year seemed to be going wonderfully for many children, but not for all. For some others, things were not going so well, let's say. Well, this is what a young woman named Laura explains to us. Laura became very famous at only 13 years old because one of the most terrifying cases happened to her playing on one of the Roblox servers, whose name I will not mention for legal reasons. Well, the thing is that Laura was very sociable, and like any child who is new to a game, the first thing she looks for is to make new friends. The problem with this is that we never know who is behind the computer screen of the person we are trying to talk to in order to become their friend. Many times the person you're talking to is a simple boy of your age, but other times, the person you're talking to may not be your age. Well, the truth is that Laura was tired of playing alone, so she found a group of friends within the server. In that group of new friends, there were several people, but we'll focus on one in particular, whose name was Daniel. Daniel had a bit of a creepy character in the game. In that group of friends, Laura had a good time. They spent several hours playing, every day. Meanwhile, no one knew the faces of the others, not even their voices. Laura began to enjoy hanging out with her new friends. She became more and more attached to them, but after a while, the group slowly began to separate. Suddenly, what began to scare Laura was the fact that some of them secretly told Laura to be careful with Daniel. They tell Laura that none of them had invited Daniel to be part of the group. They told her that basically, he started following them everywhere. They told Laura every day to be careful with Daniel, and the next day they told her the same thing but in different words. They told her that he always tried to talk to them, outside of the game, and he always wrote to them all privately, and also so late at night, and sometimes Daniel wrote to them in the early morning as well. This made Laura curious, unlike her other friends. So Laura was the only one who didn't separate from Daniel. For some strange reason, Laura fell in love with Daniel little by little, since Daniel had a certain ability to convince children. Laura asked him why her previous friends told her that he was weird, but he told Laura that they were jealous of him, and that was why she should only trust him, and no one else. He also began to fill her head with lies, telling her that the other players could be stalkers, when what she didn't know was that she was talking to the real stalker. Every day Laura fell more and more in love with Daniel, which made Daniel think about how to do what he really wanted to do with Laura, since he had all her trust. As time went by, Daniel began to take advantage of the opportunity that she loved him, and Daniel asked her for a social network outside of Roblox so that he could talk better, and so that Roblox could not censor his conversation with her. At first she began to hesitate a little, but unfortunately she ended up saying yes. Laura didn't know what a big mistake she had made by making that decision. After that, the conversations between Laura and Daniel became more frequent. In fact, she no longer entered to play Roblox, since unfortunately she was falling into Daniel's trap. Daniel had gotten weirder. One night, Daniel starts asking her a lot of awkward questions, which luckily makes Laura start to feel a little bit scared. The reason I say luckily is because at least if she gets scared, then maybe she'll want to block the weird guy, stop talking to him, and move on with her life. But unfortunately, Laura kept answering everything the guy asked her. The guy started asking Laura where she lived, what her phone number was, and what time her parents left her home alone. But what Daniel never knew was that he had been talking to an FBI agent all this time, and that after all, Laura was never a child, but was always an FBI agent who was dedicated to catching stalkers and perverts, just like Daniel. Let's enter this game. Make sure it says 2021 here, and that these are the creators of the game. This game as well, as soon as we enter, a little message will appear telling us that we already have the item for this game. The item would be this one here. Let's enter this game.
Once in the game, here you see the items that we can get. For you to get any of these items, you just need to spend time in the game. This timer goes up real quick. And also you must get milk. You can get them by killing the people around you. And you can get more milk if you kill them on this area. Good luck, guys. Let's enter this game now. Once in the game, here you have the items that we can get in this game. In order to get them, you need to collect UGC coins. You can get those coins by doing many things, such as claiming the daily rewards. And also you can get more coins by fighting in the different arenas. There is also a roulette over here, which can give us either another item or any other useful thing.
Let's enter this game. Once inside the game, let me tell you that I was waiting like crazy for this new item, since it is one of the easiest to get. To get it, first, we must do a first mini-game, but first we need to go over here. Now we start the mini-game. In this mini-game we must collect 10 crystal lenses, which will be very easy, since you will always see this drawing of lens glass, which will indicate where they will be. In case you are standing next to a crystal lens, and by any chance you are unable to grab it, in case that happens to you, simply exit the game and re-enter the game again. When you have already collected the 10 crystal lenses, you must go to the portal again. Once inside here, you must look for this door here. These here are the remaining copies of the item. Let's enter this portal. Now we simply have to reach the end of the obby, and at the end of the obby the item will be waiting for us. Let's enter this game. Welcome to the new chapter of the easiest items to get in the entire history of Roblox. Well, at least in history, since they started creating items for users. Well guys, in this first game we have a new item, which I'm not lying to you when I tell you that it is very easy to get. I'll show you the item in a moment, but before that, I think you're already getting the idea of what kind of game we're in right now, because if you didn't know, we're in a Tycoon world. It's basically all about building, but each build will cost you money, which you'll get from a machine. By the way, I'll be giving you some tips about it later on, but first let me show you today's item. The item is this one here. Basically, to get the item we must buy at least 350 construction buttons, which will be very easy with the tricks that I will show you. The first trick, and it is basically the only trick, excuse me, I thought there were more tricks. And actually this is not even a trick, is basically using your brain. It's about leaving your character standing without doing anything, for like 10 minutes, while the money in the machine is accumulating, so that when you go to collect it, you have so much money, that you don't have to go to the machine every time the money runs out. By the way, every time you go to unlock these rooms, you can always choose the third key from the right. At this rate, you'll be able to get the item faster than you think. there are still items available in this game. As you can see, we can still get this item here, which is obtained by logging into the game for 7 days. In fact, it says here that it must be every 24 hours, so I recommend that if you logged in today at 5 p.m., you can log out without any problems at that moment and log in whenever you want, but on the second day it will be unlocked, when it is 5 p.m. the next day. And so on. In other words, each day will unlock, if you are in the game at the time you entered the previous day. And the second item is even easier, I'm referring to this dinosaur that you see here. To get it, you must collect 1,000 points, which there are 2 ways to get. The first is by opening our own gifts, and the second is by sending gifts to our friends or whoever. We do all that here. Here we send gifts, and here we open our own. One more thing you should know is that we can find gifts scattered throughout the map, which we can take and open to continue earning points. Remember that in the daily rewards, we are supposed to be given a certain amount of gifts daily. Let's enter this game. Even though the item for this game has sold out, if you look closely at the look of the item they were releasing, you can tell how ingenious or creative they are when it comes to creating items for us. And not only that, the way to get said item was simply to collect 100 toads, and simply play the game for 120 minutes, which would be nothing more and nothing less than 2 hours of gameplay, which can be completed in the blink of an eye. For the same reason I bring you this game today, since the developers are very constant in creating new items, and in the same way the methods to obtain them are truly simple. So stay tuned, because when the game reaches 100,000 likes, the developers will release more items.
Let's enter this game. I will leave the link of this game in the description below. Once in the game, follow me over here. As you can see, the item is no longer available, but you can stay focused on this game because they are always uploading new items, but in small quantities, so stay tuned. Let's enter this game. I will leave the link of the game in the description below. Once in the game, follow me over here. This is the item that we will get in this game. In order to get the item, we must join this group and leave our like, and we must like the game as well. You will find all that in the description below, and the last task is to survive at least 10 times in the minigames. So we can enter the minigames, we must stand over here and wait until there are enough players. This is very easy, guys. Let's do this. Let's enter this game. Once in the game, follow me over here. These are the items that we will get in this experience. Getting these items is so easy, and I will show you some tricks that you can use to get them faster than normal. And remember that if you are not able to get these items, you can keep your coins to buy any other new item that the game put in the shop store. As you can see, so we can claim them, we need this amount of coins. Every so often, the game will be giving us the coins, and right now these are my coins. But we also can get coins by leveling up in the way I will show you now. Follow me over here. In order to level up, we must complete these tasks. I will explain you how. This right here is referring to this ability over here. We just need to press it, and after that we must click the screen enough time until we see here we reach the amount needed. Getting these items is so easy. Now we will press in the new ability, and we will do exactly the same, but now until the counter reach 75. As you can see, we already reached the 75 that they wanted, but it shows that we have not completed the task yet. Every time that happens, you must go to the gym. You need to press the ability, standing close here, until the yellow arrows come up. This right here is referring to the ability over here. You must do the same until the counter reach the amount they want. Remember that if you were not able to get these items, you still can continue getting coins, so when new items come up in the game, you can be the first one to get them. This would be it. Stay getting coins, so you can get these items, or any other new item that the game can put in the shop store. Now for free, this spectacular wings. Let me show you how to get them. Let's enter this game. Once in the game, in order to get the item, we must draw some arrows. It does not matter the way you do it, just make sure it looks like an arrow. You also must do it to the same direction as I am doing it, and it does not need to be a big arrow. This is very easy. Remember to make sure you are drawing the arrows at the same place as I am drawing them, but it does not matter if you draw the arrow at the same exact area, just make sure you draw the arrow close to the area that I am drawing mine. Remember that the arrows must be pointing to the same direction that my arrows are pointing. In this board we need to draw an X. After you do all that, you will need to enter this game at least in 3 different days.